Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Sunday, July 9th, around 9 p.m. Mountain Time 2023. Over 12,000 earthquakes since the seismic crisis began on the Reykjanes Peninsula, and it is ongoing. The largest quake so far just struck hours ago at 5.2 magnitude, due to the uplift in the region, and we are waiting for the imminent eruption as we speak. Keep calm. It is indeed Iceland boom time. More on the volcano in a moment, but let's get to the weather in North America. National Weather Service issues severe thunderstorm watch, flash flood warnings across the area, downpours with watches and warnings Sunday for Berks County in Pennsylvania, and flooding impacting portions of central Pennsylvania as well. Flood watch, how much rain could fall in New Jersey and PA? Well, that is not the big story. Let's take a look at it. It's going to be up here in Vermont and perhaps western Massachusetts and portions of upstate New York, including near Albany, where we could see up to 4 to 8 inches with up to 10 inches of rain, and that is insane. And they've seen some of that. Here is Megan Cardone, a resident of West Point, New York, publishing this picture. Take a look at this roadway. Holy macaroni. You want to stay away from that if you can. This is up on our Twitter feed, and this is part of that flooding rain that's happening. Now, Sunday storms could also cause flooding in Philly as well. So heads up if you're in the Northeast. Here's the smoke map. Not looking too bad overall. Just some problems up in Saskatchewan and Alberta, as well as British Columbia, with the smoke from over 100 fires that are raging across the region. Hopefully we can get some precipitation up into that area soon, so that we do not suffer any more smoke booms down here in the lower 48. Eastern Colorado Springs hit by severe hail. And holy macaroni, look at that window. Doesn't look good. Scott Hastings has lived in his home in Colorado Springs since 2008, and he says this is the largest hail he has ever seen. As predicted, it just started hitting everything according to Hastings. It's just scary. That's pretty much all I can say. And you can see the hail damage there. Let's take a look at the video.
Breaking weather alert. The hail this afternoon caused a lot of damage in neighborhoods all across Colorado Springs, Fountain, and Security Whitefield. Now, many of you also shared your pictures of broken windows, dents in cars, and even some hail larger than the size of baseballs. 11 News reporter Jared Dean joins me now in studio. Jared, you actually spoke with a man who was injured by a large piece of hail.
Yeah, Grace, the man I spoke with earlier, Scott Hastings, says he was trying to move his car into the garage when he was hit by the hail. He says that will heal quickly, but the damage to his car and his home will take much longer.
Scott Hastings has lived in his home in Colorado Springs since 2008. He says this is the largest hail he's ever seen. During Saturday's storm, Hastings was injured trying to move one of his cars inside the garage.
It actually cut up my arm. I could feel it hit my head and my hat, and it didn't knock me out, but I knew it was hurt.
Hastings
probably should have had a helmet.
He has to get his cars repaired so he and his wife can get to work.
I mean, it's our vehicles, our only way of transport, and with the windows being busted completely out, the back, it's kind of scary, you know, how we're going to get where we're going to go.
This comes just less than 24 hours after another southern Colorado town got hit by massive hail.
We had golf ball size hail, and it just totally destroyed a bunch of cars up and down this street.
So this phenomenon is not new, and we've been predicting it for over 8 years to be increasing and ever more prevalent. Better get your helmets on because more hail is coming. Widespread excessive rainfall and flood threat on the menu for the full forecast. A slow-moving cold front sweeping into the northeast and mid-Atlantic will produce organized severe to severe thunderstorms and heavy excessive rainfall. We saw that in upstate New York for an increased flood threat for the rest of today into tomorrow. This includes major metro areas from Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia and New York City. And that's not the only place flooding. Heavy rain triggers flooding in India today, according to an Al Jazeera newsfeed. Let's take a look at this insanity.
We just came out to have lunch over here, but
in
look
July
at this.
ever recorded. That could have some cosmic ray influence, but no one is listening to us, are they? We're in fact shadow banned, so please share this video with others. Seismic update, we have a major quake happening in the seismic unrest in Iceland. Over 12,000 quakes, and now the largest one just popping off hours ago, 5.1, according to the USGS. And we do have an uptick here in the western U.S. at the geysers. Overall, pretty normal activity. Let's take a closer look at the geysers, where we have dozens of earthquakes happening in this region. Typical of upticks, ebbs and flows, so we're going to keep a close eye on the geysers for you. As we take a look at the Pacific Northwest, all of the volcanoes have gone quiet, which is good news. The flurry of activity on Rainier has been shut down in the last week. Almost no seismic activity in St. Helens, just one earthquake in the last 7 days. And Mount Hood is completely silent. So good news in the Pacific Northwest. Overall, worldwide volcano news update, we've got Mayon puffing and passing. Semaru, Reventador, Sangay, Ubainas, Nevado de Ruiz, as well as Sabancaya. Sabancaya to 23,000 feet, Semaru to 15. Nishoshima creating quite a nice plume. We'll get to that in just a moment. Ubainas, no emissions over the last 8 hours, which is good news there. Popo to 20,000. Mayon, look at this. Lava flow activity and glowing avalanches are quite spectacular. The activity at the volcano remains elevated. It's dominantly effusive in style as viscous lava rises through the central conduit into the summit crater and overflows as thick lava flows on the extremely steep southern flank of the stratovolcano. This baby is building. Look at how vertical it's building this cone. This one is going to get sheared off in a big boom soon. So heads up for Mayon, which had its most destructive eruption back in the year without a summer in 1814 as at VEI4 and killed everyone on the island. So our thoughts and prayers go out to those on Mayon, because it's looking, well, pretty bad. Here's Nishoshima over in Japan, sending that ash plume directly to the north. Now on to the Reykjanes Ridge. Here we can see the earthquakes during the last 48 hours increasing, well, spectacularly with the 5.2, which is off the chart here. So a new flurry of activity. And that adjustment of the plate due to that 5.2, which is not magmatically related, but due to the uplift, well, could cause the lava to squeeze through the surface. As we can see an uptick here in the last few hours in the microseismicity at Kreisuvik. And this is the volcanic tremor here increasing as well over the last few hours. Hours of powers, 24 hours straight uptick at Volgosar, which is right in the region. Now, the latest update on the strong earthquake 1.5 kilometers east of Kalir Mountain is here. An earthquake with magnitude of 5.2 happened 1.5 kilometers east of Kalir Mountain. This earthquake did shake Kalir Mountain and resulted in a small dust cloud. The earthquake is connected to inflation that is happening just south of the mountain, rather than being connected directly to magma movements in the area. But there has been significant magma movement in the area in Fagradalsfjall. And 3 earthquakes with magnitude above 4 also took place in the last 24 hours. Earthquake activity is increasing northeast and north of Kalir. Why is unclear. It's possibility that magma is creating a path for its way in that region. The magma seems stuck in the crust, and there doesn't seem to have stopped the inflow of magma below the mantle. This is going to result in increased pressure on the dike, well, until an eruption happens, which is imminent. And there are multiple live streams. We're going to link you to Afar TV live. New volcanic eruption expected in Iceland. 5,000 thumbs ups. And people are watching. There are 1,600 in the house. So if you're bored and need to chat, say boom. And tell them Diamond sent you. Welcome to, well, the view of Iceland as the sun sets. Space weather news update. We're using solar ham here. There does seem to be some uptick in activity here. Yeah, just a small C flare approaching M0. So a C4.2. Who knew? But this baby, can't see that data. Okay, so it's looking like some slight uptick if we look at the latest HMI intensity. Sunspot active region 3363. It looks quite significant, but there are lots of sunspots on the disk at solar max. And we are in a condition where many of the people are claiming that we're in the peak of sunspot activity, which will shut down at the end of the year. And this will lead to a very quiet solar minimum for solar cycle 25. One of the weakest ever recorded, and then solar cycle 26, which may be a complete dud. So stay tuned for more news on the developing grand solar minimum, which is matching Valentina Zarkova's prediction to a T. There is no geomagnetic storm forecast. In fact, we should be psychic in just a few days. Food safety news: 6 million pounds of batters, breaders, seasoning rubs, marinades, and more recalled over salmonella concerns. Well, this is happening day after day. And please stay away from these highly processed foods if you can. Buy locally, buy fresh, eat organic and unprocessed foods. Newlywed Foods Incorporated of Chicago, Illinois is recalling over 6 million pounds of various products. Now, I need a little pause here. This is where the most mass shootings every single day are occurring in Chicago. And you're buying food that's coming from this city? Holy macaroni. Newlywed Foods Incorporated of the mass extinction town of Chicago, Illinois, which is a Democrat shithole, is recalling over 6 million pounds of various products. Why aren't they bankrupt? No one knows. They're probably going to get bailed out to sell you more of this garbage, from batter and breader mixes to seasoning rubs and marinades, because these products contain salmonella. According to details posted online by the FDA, the recall was initiated on May 26th, and it's now just getting to the public after hundreds have been sickened. 6,465,000 pounds of recalled products can be found by clicking here. So you better click it because this ticket is sick. And yeah, they're going to give you no list of nothing. Typical. Live updates. SpaceX targeting late night launch of Starlink satellites from Florida tonight. Follow live updates as SpaceX targets an 11:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday, July 9th. That's just a few minutes from now for the launch of the Falcon 9 rocket and the 22 Starlink internet satellites. I'm sure many people will claim that there are aliens coming in after they witness the launch because they are absolutely clueless. As well as the people that are watching the James Webb Telescope, absolutely clueless. These are PhDs, and they claim they have spotted the most distant active black hole ever observed. Shut up, Al. Get in your hole. He agrees with them. And all of these lamestream scientists need to get a new fucking job. Physicist who found spherical meteor fragment claims they may have come from an alien spaceship. I think he's drinking the wrong Kool-Aid, in my opinion. Oumuamua is not a spaceship. It's an it's an extrastellar object, period. And a lot of people are claiming it's extraterrestrial, which it is, but it's not a spaceship. It's just an extraterrestrial rock. And that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. More dumb things. James Webb Telescope detects the earliest strand in the cosmic web. The only problem with that is this is the furthest we can see. So it's certainly not the earliest strand, just the furthest strand we can look at. And these people are full of the gobbledygook, which is why we put up propaganda. They showed this to high school kids in 1948. Would they allow it today? Over at our Rumble channel, please check out the video. It is old school, and that's a boom to knowledge. All the knowledge you need to know in one place. Please share this video, as we are shadow banned and they are scared about the information we share. We love each and every one of you. Become a Patreon, support the work we do. Watch all of our productions commercial free. You can also just hit the thumbs up and help with the algorithm. Shut up, Al. Get in your hole. And that's a boom.